What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind as you listen to my chair as it squeaks. Guys, I want to start off the video by giving a great big shout out to Drunk 3PO, Lord Callus, Fatal J, Demogeni, and the one and only President Abu Nas. Along with myself, we are collectively known as the Dark Council. And I want to shout them out because, guys, I don't know if you've been noticing, but my channel has been it's been getting its ass kicked, for a while. It's like, it seems like I was on a meteoric rise and then all of a sudden I hit this ceiling like boom, you know what I mean? And I keep going boom, boom, and I've noticed the views also, like I'm losing subs, the views are going down. And it's hilarious to me because my likes to dislike ratio is crazy. I'm getting a lot of love. I'm not seeing anything particularly controversial, so I can't think of any reason for it. I'm just stuck in YouTube limbo, and I'm just starting to wonder if one day my channel is just not going to just disappear, And if it does, the reason why I'm shouting out my Dark Council brothers is because if anything ever happens to my channel or whatever, then go to my next of kin, my next of YouTube kin, and check them out, okay? Because they would know what would happen to me. Plus, every Tuesday night, I'm rocking with them on YouTube on one of their channels. All right, so sometimes people will say, man, Mark, I haven't seen you in a long time. I make videos every day for a reason right about now, all right? Because if they think they're going to put my channel under siege and they're going to just keep on assaulting my subs and my views, then my question is, do you think that makes me less dangerous, or do you think it makes me more dangerous? All right, so a brother like me messing with me, I just go harder. You know what I'm saying? I go harder, baby. I go deeper. You know what I mean? And that's just what I'm gonna do. I ain't gonna sit up here and cry about it. I'm just letting you know. All right, that's what's going on. All right, so shout out to my brothers. Y'all are gonna be holding me down. I hold you down. It's all love, love, baby. But anyway, getting to the topic of the video, okay? I want to get your opinion on something because I saw this article here on ScreenRant.com, and they're opining that the Uncharted movie that's about to come out, which they're hoping is going to spin off into an Uncharted movie series based upon the video game, which I played. I played all of them, you know what I mean? I love the Uncharted video games. Except for the puzzles. I can't stand the puzzles. Maybe I'm just not there, but, after a long, hard day's work, I ain't trying to figure out crap. You know what I mean? I like the shootouts. I like the climbing and the jumping, and the stories are always great. But when you got to stop and try to put this piece here and move this piece over there so this piece can go here, you lose me at that point. You know what I'm saying? But the video games, magnifique. Now, the point is that they're bringing this to the big screen, and they're going to have none other than Spider-Boy playing Nathan Drake. That would be Tom Holland. Come on down. So it's Tom Holland, okay? And I got nothing against Tom Holland. Seems like a nice enough kid. The only thing is that, in my opinion, it's just that. He's a kid, And I always saw Nathan Drake as being a little bit more worldly, a little bit more mature, and everything, but I guess what they're probably thinking is that Tom Holland is going to grow with the franchise. I don't know. All right, so this article here is saying that the Uncharted movie might have found a way to beat Indiana Jones at its own game. Shut your mouth. But that's what they're saying. The Uncharted movie series has found a way to beat Indiana Jones 5 at its own game. All right, I'm not understanding or seeing that. I mean, I see Uncharted as being clearly inspired by Indiana Jones, and there's been a lot of movies and TV shows that have been inspired by Indiana Jones. Since Raiders of the Lost Ark came out, you've had quite a few, and most of them have not really been able to live up to that level of quality. Although there's been a couple that I've enjoyed, just like off the top of my head, I really enjoyed, for example, the Romancing the Stone movies, with Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito. I thought that was good. I mean, obviously, it was inspired by Indiana Jones. They had that romantic adventurer, globe-hopping, kind of thing going on. But Michael Douglas was his own type of hero. He wasn't exactly Indiana Jones. He was a little bit more metro. And then, the Mummy series, with Brendan Fraser. I liked those movies as well. It captured that spirit of adventure. Romance was in there as well. Back in the 80s, they tried a couple of things. I believe it was there was a series out called Tales of the Gold Monkey with that guy who got arrested for uh, child, and also Bring Him Back Alive. I think that was one of them. Also, just goes to show you guys. I mean, these grays ain't here for a reason. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm up there. I remember these things, right? So anyway, Indiana Jones inspired a lot, but to say that you can beat Indiana Jones, I don't know, right? But in part, what this article here says is that the Uncharted games are clearly inspired by the Indiana Jones films, sending players on globe-trotting adventures to find magical MacGuffins and mystical places. Based on the earliest look of the movie, it appears it will be following the same formula very closely. The images depict Holland's Drake as a fearless action hero on the trail of treasure, which is exactly how one would describe the Indiana Jones character. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, stop right there. All right, Indiana Jones was not purely motivated by treasure. He wasn't necessarily a treasure hunter. Most of the things he was hunting for had historical or religious significance. He was an archaeologist who studied his craft and really believed that the things he was after belonged in a museum, or some other place of prestige or righteousness. So it wasn't just like he was just out there like Jack Sparrow, just looking for treasure. So nah, don't tell that lie. This implies the Uncharted movie will essentially be a young Indiana Jones story. See, no, just stop. Slyly giving Hollywood an Indiana Jones reboot without the pressure of recasting Harrison Ford. The hope is the popular source material will draw viewers in. What's interesting about this part of the appeal of the Indiana Jones movies, especially the original trilogy, was the vicarious thrill of going on a grand adventure searching for treasure. We talked about that before. Ford was in his prime when those films came out, making it easy for audiences to get swept up in the journey with Indiana Jones. The issue with doing an Indiana Jones movie now is the character is synonymous with Ford, who's in his late 70s. Should Indy 5 stick to his current release date, Ford will be 80 by the time it premieres. While Ford is clearly capable of delivering compelling performances as his legacy characters, see Blade Runner 2049, he's limited with what he can do physically, which automatically makes Indiana Jones 5 a harder sell. He can't be dragged by trucks or jump on a tank and all of this stuff. So what they're saying basically is that it's a young man's game. And that's fine, all right? I do understand that. I don't necessarily want to see old Harrison Ford doing all of these things. I talked about that before. I think it might be too late, But to say that Uncharted is going to inherit, this, I don't think so. I don't think Tom Holland is capable of holding Harrison Ford's whip. Okay. The thing about Harrison Ford is even when we met him in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he was a much younger man, he still had that worldly feel about him. You know what I mean? He had been whipped. He's tired. He had a history. When him and Marion are talking, you could tell he had been through some things. The man said it's not the years, it's the mileage. You're not going to be able to sell that with Tom Holland. You're just not. He just looks way too preppy. He's very clean cut. Can he even grow a beard? All due respect to Tom Holland. I'm just saying, there's a lot of other actors that you might have been able to get for Nathan Drake. Now, that's not saying he shouldn't just play him. I mean, I'm all for it. Give it a chance. Give it a shot. But these are just the thoughts that I have, when I see those promotional pictures. I'm like, I ain't believing it, man. It's like I'm thinking that Nathan Drake is going to get into fights and stuff like that. Tom Holland, he doesn't look like he can whoop anybody, without superpowers anyway. So, that's what they're saying here. It says, there's no guarantee that Uncharted will be a big hit. Video game adaptations are notoriously tricky to get right, and a major selling point of the games is that they're basically Indiana Jones movies people can play. Removing that interactive element in the movie adaptation could be a detriment, but on paper it has all the right pieces to give viewers an Indiana Jones style adventure that's much easier to buy into than what Indy 5 appears to be attempting. Okay, so that's the point that they're trying to make. Basically, that Harrison Ford is too old, and it's time for somebody else to pick up the mantle of these swashbuckling, adventure, globe-trotting things. And, like I said, to some degree I do agree with that, but I don't think that Uncharted, and I don't think that Tom Holland is going to give us our fix for that. But that's just me. It's like, what do you guys think? Do you think that it's just time, and we already talked about this before, you think it's time to just put Indiana Jones out to pasture, and you think that the Uncharted movies are going to give us that feel and that fix? Do you think that's going to be the new Indiana Jones or Indiana Jones for a new generation. It very well could be. I'm going to be a harder sell because, of course, I'm older. But what do you guys think? Get in the comment section and let me know. Are you ready for this? Do you just want to say, all right, forget Indiana Jones, let's see Uncharted, and this could be it? You know, of course, it's a wait and see, but give me your thoughts on it. And as always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. And as always, you can catch me on Twitter. Come give me a follow. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. I'll catch you on the next one. Rock on.